go live. And oh, here we go. We are now live. So here's what I'm gonna smoke today. I'm gonna smoke my Rocky Patel Year of the Dragon. That's what I'm gonna have today.
By the way, that's an impressive looking cigar, I have to say. Can I have a quick sneak preview again at the band on your cigar?
Yes, I will do it. I'll do this. I'll scare the fans. I'm gonna do a solo, and there you go. This is the
That's
Rocky
a
Patel
very
Year of
elegant
the
looking
Dragon,
band.
isn't it?
Very, very nice.
That is the Rocky Patel Year of the Dragon. So Rocky, I think I've had this before. It's not bad. It's a New World cigar. It is what it is.
That band deserves to be taken off neatly,
Yes.
pressed flat, and then arranged on the back of your phone in a transparent case. So
Oh, yes. I should do that.
yeah, because it's like a conversation piece. When you're
Yeah.
sitting around at a airport lounge, or you're sitting
Yeah.
around, with friends, and you
All
turn
right.
your phone.
Well, my thing. All right. Let me cut the head. And since our sommelier isn't here, I'll do everything wrong. And I can't get in trouble for that. Last week's show did very well. People loved it. So that was
Yep.
good. Let me just peel this gently like a virgin. Ooh.
A virgin. Oh, by the way, I
Yeah.
always do this when I'm here. I'm in Belgravia, London, right now. Again, I'm at Tom Tom, pretty
Yes,
much
you
my
are.
place. I like showing off the lounge because I get that loungy vibe here. But
Hmm.
here we go, a bit library-esque. It's a little bit. How do you call this in the USA? It's a bit of a speakeasy because a lot of people don't really know it's down here.
Right.
And if you know, you know.
If you
Um,
know, you know.
and you can see there's great lounge down there.
I
It's got
see.
a fireplace. It's got it's like your
Very
TV,
nice.
and
It's a
it's
very cozy little. We would call that old school a gentleman's club.
yeah. I
Not
mean,
the
it is.
gentleman's club with a strip club, not a stripper gentleman's club, but like a gentleman's club.
Well, I'm not doing that today.
Oh
I'll be,
my God.
but and I'm smoking here a cigar,
Yeah.
which I'm ashamed to say I thought I was smoking for the first time. Turns out 4 years ago, during
Yeah.
COVID, I smoked a whole box of them. The only way I can ever really remember what I've smoked, if I've forgotten it, is I go on my Instagram account and then go through it and say, did I smoke it? Did I smoke it? And I found it. And
Right.
so this cigar, the H. Upmann Magnum 50,
Oh, I
I've
love
smoked
those.
plenty of. I don't remember it so much because, well, it was during COVID and I was smoking a
Mm.
lot of stuff. And if it
And-
really stands out, it stands out. But on the
yes.
advice of a few of my regular smoking cigar buddies, who've all said to me, Reza, you're missing out if you don't smoke H. Upmans.
Yeah.
You're missing out on some really class act smoking. I've been smoking them a little bit more recently, and I'm beginning to appreciate that it's smoother, sort of a milder cigar, but it has a certain complexity to it, and I'm beginning to enjoy that. So thanks to all those people who recommended it to me.
And I've been smoking the H. Upman cigars for a while, and I love their 50 and 54s. I usually get the 54 from a source that we won't name, but
Mhm.
he speaks Spanish. And he's only 90 miles away from America, but close enough. And I enjoy my H. Upmans
Is
when I
that
have
how
them.
far away it is? 90 miles? It's
Not
90 miles.
Cuba is 90 miles away by boat. If you walk it, it's a little further, but by boat, it's 90 miles away. Yeah.
I remember watching a movie sort of like 10, 15 years ago. You know, the Miami Vice movie
Yeah,
that
sure.
with Jamie Foxx and the other
I know.
actors.
It was the worst movie ever, but yes, I remember it.
I'll be honest with you, I loved it, and I loved it because it caught the atmosphere of Miami. But actually, one of the
Okay.
parts that I remember very well is Crockett taking a fast boat for
Yeah.
a drink in Cuba. So he just hammers it to Cuba,
Yep.
goes for a drink, and comes back again. And I thought, oh, is it that far? Is it that close?
It is 90 miles, and back in the 80s when Miami was snowing every day on the beach, that's what the runners used to do with their cigarette boats. Is they get cigarette boats go 100 plus miles an hour, and they would go wherever, and they'd come back, and they would drop their stuff.
And Cuba comes to mind more recently. I bought a book last weekend.
Yeah.
Ernest Hemingway's last book that he wrote that I never got around to reading,
Oh
called
wow.
Islands in the Stream, which was about basically his last sort of 10 years living in Cuba and some of the surrounding islands. I'm really looking
Right.
forward to read that, but I've got that Cuban flavor going on in buckets and spades right now.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to today's show. Not that you're going to be teaching people how to retro smoke, but I know our sommelier, when he gets here, is going to pull out his little kit. And I'm talking about, for cigars. And he's going to teach people how to taste the flavor of a cigar with his kit. And I'm excited about that because I would love to know what this Rocky Patel Year of the Dragon cigar is supposed to taste like. I'm enjoying the cigar. It's a nice smoke. It's a beautiful aroma. Not really
Well,
getting caramels and nuts and what I guess that I'm supposed to, but I'm enjoying the
what are
cigar.
you getting? In your opinion, what are you getting? Are you getting some woodiness out of it? Are you getting sort of cedary aspect? How
Hold on one
does it?
second. Let me tell you what I'm getting.
You're getting Macallan. That's what you're getting.
I'm getting a
Uh,
25-year-old Macallan. Yeah, that's what I taste. That's what I taste. That's good. No, I don't really taste. I've never been one that can taste a cigar, even with wine. When people go, "Do you taste this?" I'm like, "No, it's wine." Even with Scotch, when they go, "Do you taste the?" I'm like, "No, it's Scotch. It tastes like turpentine. That's what it tastes like. It is what it is." So I'm not. I've never had the palate for the taste, and I'm okay with that. I just enjoy other aspects of it.
on the other hand, I
Yeah,
have a friend who, a fairly big cigar collector, Cuban cigar collector himself. He does this.
yeah.
He does this, and he can
Mm,
gauge sort of the flavor profile of a cigar from the
the
perfume
smoke.
of the cigar. Yeah,
Ah,
a
okay.
very developed sense of taste. Um, and I'm quite astounded by that, by the way.
Yeah.
And he very accurately will tell me this is going to be a sweetish cigar. It's going to be a woody cigar,
Oh
cedary.
wow.
He's very.
Okay.
And I just thought it was. I just thought it was just sort of like fooling around kind of stuff, right? But
Hey.
actually, he seems to be able to nail it pretty well.
Wow.
But he
All
knows the
right.
cigars. He knows more about cigars than I'll ever learn. Um,
And,
but
and
you do
that's
get people.
but for you and and if I may, I think you and I we enjoy cigars because of I want to, and this does not is going to come out totally wrong and send all your cards and letters to David because he has nothing to do with his life and it's good for him to read. Because of our heritage, um, because of our fathers or our
Yeah,
grandfathers that got us into it. So for us, it's very much a old world, old school. It connects us and we enjoy it. Other people get into it because they want to be like our sommelier, like they want to be a connoisseur. They want to smell it and look at it and roll around naked with the leaves and can tell you all about it. Where you and I will be like, "Oh, I enjoy this cigar." And I can still tell you about it, but I cannot tell you to the extent like Usman can tell us about a cigar.
yeah, but that's the technical knowledge. I mean, one of the
Right.
great reasons, or sorry, one of the great things about having someone like Usman on the show
Right.
is all the smoking and sort of the chat to one side. There is a technicality, which I hope again today he's going to share with us. The actual
Yes.
technicality of trying to work out what a cigar tastes like. And
Right.
I guess even if you aren't an expert, just that sort of that holding on 1 minute more to think about it in itself
Yeah.
perhaps can increase your enjoyment because your brain is a little bit fighting sit right. What am I tasting? Rather than just
Right.
blowing smoke into the air,
Right. Right.
what am I tasting here? And like very, very unusually, I had a cigar maybe 2 months, 3 months ago. That wasn't a Cuban cigar. That when I lit it for the first two or three puffs or draws, it almost tasted of apples.
Nice.
It was, well, you say nice, but it lasted two or three puffs and it was gone. And then there was nothing for the rest of the cigar.
Oh,
But a memorable cigar nevertheless, because it was an exceedingly different. It was just not a flavor profile I was expecting, nor have I ever
right.
got that from a cigar.
Yeah.
I won't mention which one, but memorable. It's a
Right.
memorable cigar. It wasn't a particularly anything cigar, but it was memorable, and
Memorable cigar.
that in itself can be, Um, to be honest, I didn't need to be particularly technical. I think even even someone with a cold or all their taste buds gone, would have got some. What? It's a very unusual hit of apples here.
Right,
Uh,
right.
but I'm actually just as interested in you as you in knowing what the technicality behind this is in terms
Yes,
of what am I looking for. And I guess if I can guess in advance before the smell comes on, it's you need to have perhaps 5 or 6 flavors already in your head and identify, well, this, like for example, coffee, chocolate,
right.
cedar wood, um, like or and a couple more. I'm sure he's going to talk to you about them. Excuse me. And then a bit like Thai food. So Thai food is sort of like a combination of sweet,
Right.
sour, salty, bitter. So so if you have that language in your head, you can start a little bit veering in that direction, and then perhaps that might increase your enjoyment. I think that's what it's
Right.
about. I believe. So that's just a
I,
guess on my part.
you see, and to me, when people would say, "Oh, I taste this, this, and that," I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." But it never became a thing for me. Oh, I need to taste it. It was more the enjoyment of and the aroma of. Because, when my grandfather would smoke, I never really tasted his cigars. I was 6, 7 years old, right? It's the aroma of a cigar.
Yeah.
When I lived in New York, I remember in the summertime, in the springtime, we would walk. I had a friend who had a restaurant like on First and Fifth, and we would have dinner at like 10 o'clock at night. And then a group of us would walk all the way back up to 40 something street where I lived. And we would just be smoking cigars, and all these girls would be at the outside bars drinking. And you'd walk by and go, "Oh my God, you remind me of my father or my this one or that." And it was just interesting that the cigars bring back this memory of a different era. And there's just something
I'm
elegant
totally
about it.
with you. I'm totally with you. As you know, I think we're sort of 95% the same when it comes to why we're smoking cigars.
Right.
We're trying to capture an older world,
Yep.
um, um, a more familiar world,
Yeah.
and it is definitely aroma memory rather than taste memory. Because, as you said, we're too young to have tried those. I mean, I was like, I probably had my first cigar not completely. I must have just popped on a cigar at the age of about 12, and
Okay.
then another one 3 or 4 months later, and then the more I got into it. When I say got into it, it was the enjoyment of taking stuff out of my father's humidor without
Right.
him knowing. That was the enjoy. That was the enjoyment.
Right. Right.
It's like I'm partaking in a world of adults, and I'm
Right.
just
Not quite there.
so, so let's say if I did have my first puff at the age of 12, that was 40 years ago,
Wow.
and it was never about taste. Even in that moment, it was never about taste. It's like a gambler. A gambler doesn't necessarily gamble to win millions. A gambler gambles for the thrill of the ball going around the roulette table and when it's going to
Correct.
drop.
Right.
You see, it's a thrill.
It's the adrenaline. It's like being an
It's the
adrenaline
adrenaline
junkie.
rush, right?
Right. So, and with a cigar for me, as you know, like I like it for the old world, but I also like it because it really is like a 2 mini. It's a 2 hour mini holiday. Whether I'm smoking with you guys or whether I'm doing it on my own, it's a 2 hour mini holiday. I can read a book, I can do nothing, I can read the news, or I can listen to music, and I just don't care. Like the whole world just goes away. And on the stuff that we do, I'm not curing cancer. I'm not, helping the starving people. I'm not. So I'm good. Like the 2 hours, someone can't get a hold of me. It's the world's still going to survive. You
And
know.
and I think it's a very coherent argument to say that if you make it a bigger occasion, I'm
Hmm.
beginning to appreciate this a lot more. I used to be quite dismissive of these things, but if you dress up, for
Right. Right.
example, and you put your cologne on, I mean, the aroma thing again is with a cologne, nice
Yep.
cologne, nice cigar, something nice to drink that has a nicer. If you kind of prepare for battle and you put the armor on this,
Right.
that can elevate your cigar smoking
Yeah.
experience a lot.
Yes.
However shallow it may sound, and it used to sound quite shallow to me, but you know what? If you're going to enjoy yourself, if you're going to go to a party, dress up, the getting ready, the going out in itself is part of the enjoyment of being at the
Correct.
party.
I agree. But
So,
and that's the same with a cigar. And to your point now, when I'm home working, when I get to work at the house, you know, my polo shirt and a shorts, I'm good. But when we do the show, and the reason I'm not dressed to the nines like usual in a tuxedo is we're doing the show later today, and that's for the people that are watching it live. They usually know we do it about 8 o'clock in the morning Central Time on Friday, and it's 10:30 in the morning Central Time. And that 2 hours, we've gone from about 17°C to about 30°C. So I am, but there's no humidity, so it's good. But I've said, there's no way I'm dressing in a tuxedo in
I
that
have
kind
a,
of weather.
I have a little observation recommendation for you.
Sure.
Usman will make you get a. I'm so absent-minded these days. There's a certain shirt you wear in Cuba and
Right, right.
uh,
I, I,
Guybara.
I have one of those from
Yeah,
Tommy Bahama with a parrot on it.
yeah. Try that next time for your
Oh,
outdoor smoking. If for anything, if for I mean, throughout summer I was doing all my sort of like Hawaiian style shirts, and
hmm
I was in that. I told you I was in that Miami drug dealer mode. Uh, but
yes.
uh, but it it kind of changes your frame of mind a little bit more. It sort of puts you like, yeah, I'm gonna smoke, and you might want to try that next time. That might. I'd actually like to see your
Mhm.
the Tommy
I,
Bahama kit.
I actually thought today, I could do naked, but then I didn't want to scare anybody.
Yes,
So I was like,
that would be.
yeah.
No, but Tommy Bahama was quite popular sort of like 15, 16 years ago. That's my recollection, perhaps
I'm
more.
dating myself. I walked into a Tommy Bahama shop, and it had two fake cigars on the pocket, and in the back had this mega parrot with a cigar in its mouth. I was like,
That's so
I'm going to get
cool.
that. So it's somewhere in the closet. I will try to find it and wear that
Yeah,
next time.
yeah.
But if we're doing,
You should come
if we're
out
going,
with one.
I should stop it. If we're gonna do the show next Friday at either normal time, I will be in a tuxedo because there's
A
just something
style.
about having a stogie in a tuxedo. Perfection.
Yeah, very cool. The dressing up for the fun is good fun
Yeah,
in itself.
I enjoy it, and
But
the family
I
enjoy
a
it.
little bit get away with it because this is quite a, as you would say, a swanky
Mm,
club or a swanky, and I get away with because it's me.
right.
I have to bring the tone of everything down slightly. That's just the way.
Well, we're aware.
Uh, but yeah, there is a value to it.
Yeah, I
Okay,
enjoy it.
where is our friend? Do you know where our friend is?
I don't know. This is the problem when you get a sommelier. He's very famous, and then again, he's in Pakistan, where we thought
He's
you were going
stuck
to
in
be
Lahore
today.
traffic right now.
Yeah, is he driving to you? Because if he's driving to you, it's a long drive.
I think he's no. I think he's doing his commute from work to home.
Oh,
As we're talking right now, he may be running to get changed and then find his. He's created a beautiful little section in his house just for the
yes,
YouTube videos. And the headphones will go on a bit like a football sports commentator. He'll be on
yes, or an F, or
the pro in the
or
trio.
or in an F1. Actually, this morning when I was working, because I didn't have to talk to anybody, I was watching the Singapore F1, the trials. Because I know you said you don't like F1 because of Lewis Hamilton. The good thing is Lewis Hamilton now sucks, and McLaren is kicking ass over Red Bull, and Ferrari's kicking ass. So the good thing is if you want to watch F1 this weekend, you can watch Ferrari and McLaren probably win the Singapore Grand Prix.
My goodness,
I know.
I've gone off it generally. I,
Really.
I think you know what? It to me, it will never be as exciting as it was in the '80s, especially in the '90s when you had people like
Right.
Ayrton Senna, Nigel Mansell in sort of these V8 powered mega monster cars,
Yep.
and Alain Prost, Damon Hill.
Yeah.
That was I don't know. I'm a nostalgic person. You're not going to
Yeah.
capture that time again. You're just going to.
Well, like you had Sir Jackie Stewart when he would drive.
Yeah.
That was it's a beauty. So I enjoy it. It's just something. It's something. It's not as romantic as it was in the '70s, '80s, or '90s. They've made it very much like NFL or football on your side of the pond. They've made it very much commercialized, but still, it's just fun to watch and enjoy because you realize there is a lot of talent there. Like NASCAR, not so much. You're just making a left turn all the time going around an oval. With F1, it's a little different. You have to actually drive.
You see, with me,
So,
when I used to watch F1, it was literally like a sport. It was classed as a
hmm
sport. Now I find F1 people who, what generally speaking, obviously present
right.
companies included, it's just a lifestyle. It's a,
Yeah.
it's a, it's a sort of like going. It doesn't have that competitive quality to me anymore. It was a much more man
It's a,
and machine kind
yeah.
of thing, and now I don't
Now
think it is.
it's man and technology. It's like, can you shave an inch off of your car to get this? Can you get that? And when I do go to the ones, I mean, and we do the VIP thing.
Mhm.
It's I always joke. I love seeing the guys there. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I'll be like, oh, it's a pleasure meeting your wife. And then when the girl leaves, I go, that's not my wife. I'm like, okay, good enough. And I leave it at that. It's like a rich man. It's like a rich man's Playboy. I'm going to take my
That's
sugar
right.
baby, my mistress, or whatever with me, and my wife is home with the kids. And I'm like, ah, it is what it is.
It is
So
what it is. So, well, I don't know if they allow cigar smoking at F1 events.
they have when you're in the pit area, apparently they frown upon it. Something about explosions, pussies. And I'm like, what do you mean explosions? That's not my problem. So but yeah, they won't let you smoke in the booth either. I am assuming Um, you probably can, but I definitely frowned upon. Like if there was a group of us and we had our own VIP suite and we're all cigar smokers, I'm assuming we could probably pay someone enough money that we could have cigars. So far enough from gas fumes, though, because I wouldn't want to be on the 6 o'clock news.
I'm going to say something about this cigar, by the way, whilst we're chatting away.
Please, yeah.
Nutty and light.
Mm.
Really quite likable cigar. I don't know what I've been thinking.
I love the H up in 50 and 54s. They're like one of my favorite.
Um,
So,
it's a very easy smoke. Very,
yeah.
very easy smoke. I had one earlier here at Tom Tom, maybe a couple of hours ago. I got here a couple of hours ago. I had a meeting before that, and
Is
I
that
had
the
the
excuse you
H up.
used? Okay.
I had that's the excuse that we're picking with.
Okay, you're
I
good.
had
We're
an
with it.
H up and half Corona. Very
Oh,
easy,
very nice.
easy, 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 easy smoke.
All
Really,
right.
this cigar is very. Actually, I was at an event a couple of days ago. I was posting
Right.
quite a lot at Langen's, and we had a K d'Orsay 52, which I suspect is a similar kind of size cigar. I could have done with this actually,
Yeah.
even though it was a nice cigar. This would be a really, really nice
Yeah.
starter
It's
cigar. A starter cigar for those that want to take their cigaring seriously, I guess.
I like that. And if you're into New World, I will say the Rocky Patel, you're the Dragon cigar. Same thing.
Year of the Dragon. So, did
Yeah.
you decide? Have you had a moment to think about what kind of notes you're getting out of it? Any note you're getting smoke out?
Um, I'm getting ACDC Back in Black,
I thought
and
you were. I thought you were going to say, "I'm getting notes of dragon."
I'm getting yes, I'm getting notes of Dragon Poo. It's very good. Yeah, and Game of Thrones, and it's in the Draconian House. No, I don't. And Rocky watches the show, so Rocky, send me a box, and then come to Austin. We'll smoke them, and you'll tell me what I'm missing. So there you go. So what can I tell you?
Yeah, come on the show,
So
say hi, say hello,
yeah.
drop in, drop out. Um, we're
I
24
will.
minutes.
And by the way, and we haven't even started the show. We're just doing live. By the way, we finally do have a Patreon page, which soon we will publicize, and people can become executive producers, and the credits we'll put on the end of the show with the people that sponsor the show.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? 100,000 subscribers.
103,
103.
as of this morning, 103,033. 3333333.
Well, that's an interesting number, and I guess that's a number that people enjoy. I'm sure your sponsors will enjoy that. I'm sure those people looking for exposure through your channel are going to enjoy that.
Oh, I'm looking for exposure all the time, but apparently it's frowned upon, and I have restraining orders. So,
Correct.
well,
Correct.
we haven't even started the show, so I guess we should give Lisbon a few more minutes, and then if not, we'll start and end the show very quickly. So
Go for
because
it.
our boy is late.
I thought this was the show. Actually,
Well, here, if you want,
I'm
technically, if you want to start the show, let me do this then. If we're starting the show, because
go
we haven't technically done this.
This is 2OF Entertainment. The Habanos Cigars Dinner and Drink Show, exclusively on 2OF Entertainment, with over 100,000 YouTube subscribers and rapidly growing to be the most watched and podcast cigar show broadcast globally. The Habanos Cigars Dinner and Drink Show, exclusively on 2OF Entertainment.
Now we've started the show.
Now, I've noticed in the credits, Rob, cool guy.
Yeah, Rob Vega, sure.
I've exchanged a few conversations with him on your
On
YouTube
our
channel.
chat.
Let me just say, Rob Vega sounds like a Quentin Tarantino villain.
Doesn't he? He doesn't he? It's very
Rob
cool. And
Vega.
he did it on his last show. He told the story of how he got his name, Rob Vega.
And summarize.
Well, so his real name is Roll Woods, right? That's
Yes.
his real name.
I
So
think of
Rob
it as
Vega,
Roll, by the way. I don't
right,
think
right.
of it.
When he says roll, though, I always want to goose step and do this, but different story. But and when we do when he's on Morton's show, ad hoc, because roll is Norwegian, you roll everything. So it's and like it's like, oh my God, it's too much work. So what happened is he was getting into radio and he was in Hollywood and he had to do voiceovers and they go, we need a name, and Roll Woods just isn't gonna flow off of people's tongue. So Rob was a family member's name, and Vega was like from the Irish side, like 4 generations ago. And someone said like they started with Rob Vegas, and that didn't go. And then there was Rob something else, and somebody said, "How about Rob Vega?" And it stuck. And that was it. So the world voice guy who does our voiceovers and also has his own show on the channel got it because people were just riffing and came up with a name.
Very interesting. By the way,
Yeah. Yeah.
we had a show just now
Hmm.
before the opening credits, but for those
Great.
that weren't watching this, I'm smoking the H. Upman Magnum 50 as recommended to me by several people. And as I was saying to you, because the Alzheimer's is kicking in, I don't mean that, but it
Yeah.
feels like it. I forgot that maybe 3 or 4 years ago, well, it was around the COVID time, I smoked a whole
Right.
bunch of these. And I probably enjoyed them, but I spent most of that smoking time. You can actually see it on my Instagram. I was driving around central London late at night on most evenings, great weather, top down, smoking
Right.
these, enjoying myself. So in that enjoyment, I forgot what I was smoking and that I was enjoying it. But I'm revisiting the cigar on the
Yeah.
recommendation of a few friends, and it's going really nice,
Yeah.
nutty,
Hmm.
and light.
And I am smoking, for the people that actually care or don't care, a New World cigar. It's Rocky Patel's Year of the Dragon. And I will say I'm getting a little nutty flavor from it.
Now,
So
would you
now I'm
do
getting a
us a
little nutty.
favor?
I'm getting a nutty flavor after 30
Would you
minutes.
hold up the extra band that you took off the
Oh,
cigar?
that the
Because it's
band that
beautiful.
this is the real.
That's the,
Let
that's
me just
that's the, that's the
I
real
will
deal.
I will do a close up of this band. There you go. This
That's
is
a good
Rocky
looking band.
Patel. Yeah, that's the Rocky Patel Year of the Dragon cigar band. Uh, and to Riz's suggestion, I am going to flatten it out and I'm going to tattoo it on my tuchus. So people will
Or,
always
or,
know
or
that that
stick
is
it on the back of your phone underneath a transparent case. So,
either way. People are going to see it either
same
way.
thing.
I'm not shy. So yeah, we'll go. And I think our sommelier apparently is not going to sommelier today, so we may have a short show.
I have a prediction.
I would love it.
I think he's probably going to join us
Mm,
in a moment.
okay, and then he's going to send it out to all your mutual friends, and then our fans will just explode like they did last
I
week.
have an
And
idea.
here he is.
I have an idea. Let's play a joke. Let's say we finish the show when he comes.
Oh, well,
Hello,
look,
gents.
thanks
So
for
that's
showing
the
up.
end of the
Well,
show.
thank you. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. It was a great
And
show. We're sorry the sommelier missed it. It's glad you could
You
show up
know
to the
the
last minute. But
you
thanks.
you, you know the fun part
Tell
as
me.
I saying, let's just say that we're finishing up and he joins in.
That
that was AI, Reza. That was AI, Reza. You've been
was AI,
Yeah,
Reza.
yeah, right.
So, Mr.
No, gentlemen.
Sommelier,
Okay, Doc. In my
wait, before you
defense,
start,
no, Doc. In
go
my
ahead.
defense, no, no. In
Yeah.
my defense,
Yes,
the
this will be good.
gentleman sitting on your left side of the screen and my right side of the screen, this one, my
Hmm.
the up one, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
is the actual reason for this entire mess up. Because if you
I would
remember,
agree.
this
He's supposed
gentleman
to be
was,
with you.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and he decided to just like, okay, whatever.
Wait,
And
why
then
did you
that's
drive?
exactly where
Did you drive to Osama today?
why
Did you
not pick
drive
on
there?
back from,
why not pick
I
on the most
exactly, I
vulnerable
drove
member
there
of
and
the group?
I was driving back from there, which is what
I
happened.
knew it. I knew you didn't tell him. I even said to him, where are you today?" "Oh, I'm at Tom Tom's." I said, "You're not in Pakistan." No, I'm thinking to myself, I have $100 that says you didn't tell Usman. Usman's driving through the Tetris Mountains, and we're sitting here waiting for him. So technically,
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything, Newman, but it's kind of,
I don't want to sound woke, but you're
but you
picking the
will.
most vulnerable member of the trio.
Yeah,
Given the mental health issues that I have,
yeah, yeah. You have mental health.
given,
All right.
given the
Yeah.
therapy that I'm going through, it's not
Oh
particularly nice
my
to be
God.
attacked in this way. And I'm sure
Mm.
viewers and readers are going to type in and take you guys, you know, by the scruff of the necks and have a go at you because I feel victimized slightly.
Hey, let me
Yeah.
help you in a New York. Let me help you in a New York way. I got your victim right here, pal. So okay, that's victimizing. All right, I got your victim right here. So, but anyway, I'm
Good
glad you
one.
can make your treacherous drive through the mountains to go visit the guy who didn't show up in your country. Apparently he's going to be
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Wink, wink,
But
wink, wink.
yeah,
So.
exactly. This is just so that you know, Doc. This
Hmm.
is the third time it has happened. 1 month.
I
Trust
love it.
me.
I go.
Trust.
Yeah.
Trust.
Yeah, cut him off just there. Cut him off
I
just there.
know. It's that UFO thing that happened
That's
last
not
week. The
UFO.
UFO.
That's the finger of God.
But I'm sitting here and I didn't touch anything. So
Look at that!
anyway,
Look at that!
yeah.
Look at that! It's called
Wow.
instant punishment, instant
Wow.
karma.
That is
Take a
unbelievable.
screenshot. Take a screenshot. Look how ridiculous he looked. Take a screenshot now.
I have it. I have the screenshots because AI will
Screenshot.
generate
Post
this
it
as a
as a
screenshot.
story. This is what happens when you get on the case of vulnerable people.
Mm,
Look at him. He's stuck. He's
I'm
hung
stuck
up. He's
forever and ever.
forever and ever.
Me,
He can probably
me.
hear this, and he can't say anything back.
There's a pro and a con to that because I want him now to tell our fans how you taste cigars, and he's got a kit.
I think before this show, which you were recording, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had a very, very nice, reasonable discussion about how one might possibly come to the flavor of a cigar. It
Sure.
is have a few profiles in your head and work out which one is closest to,
I like that.
and
Yeah.
then I mean, not ridiculous flavors like ice
Right.
cream, like sort of like vanilla,
Right.
but I guarantee you when Usman rejoins, he's
Throw this
whatever
back. Sure.
in a roundabout way, it's going to be a bit like that.
I think so. I will also say when I read like in Cigar Aficionado or any of the cigar ratings and it says, "Oh, you'll taste this, this, and that." So when I'll smoke one of those cigars, I'll go in with the preconceived notion I'm going to taste that. And once again, I don't taste anything. For me, it becomes the smell of the cigar. Oh, look, he's back. So now that you're back, we're discussing what you were going to
Yes,
talk
sir.
to the novices about the nouveaux.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
us about how we taste our cigars. I am 14 Macallans into my cigar, so I taste Macallan.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and just so we're clear, pink elephants get drunk; they see me. So we figured that this would be a good show for you to tell everybody. Here's how you taste a cigar.
Great. Okay.
Have you got a
Before we
kid or
go into
something?
that,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
You're gonna yell at
Before
resist more?
before we no 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 yeah yeah
Okay.
well, yes I wanted to, but look, it's fine. Okay, but there was a question that was
It's happening again. It's
and I
happening again.
Wow.
asked to my friend live on the show.
Yes.
It's not. Don't worry about it. Okay. Yes. So the EGM cigars.
Yeah.
Okay. So Raza, and for all the viewers, the EGM cigars are not sold at the Hotel Nacional, but a place called Bleco Bar in the Malecon area, in the Malecon
Ooh.
district in Havana. Dominican puros are sold in Havana.
Wow. Okay. That's breaking news.
So yes. Yes, sir. So anyone who
I
wants
can
to have
confirm
EGM
that. I
cigars
can
in
confirm that.
Cuba,
I can confirm that I did my own research 3 days ago, and the same
mhm,
bar was, which is the bar at which a lot of EGM events are held,
yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
and
All the anniversaries happen there as well.
which is perhaps why there is a little bit of a tie-up to retail EGM cigars there.
Yeah. Very nice. Look at us. Look what we've taught the fans today. You're welcome.
Uh-huh.
So, and we're not even charging for this yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and now that Usman's
Yes,
joined, and I've
absolutely.
sent and I've
But
sent our
actually,
live
the
link
the
to all his
yeah.
friends. Now all the live viewers are showing up. Nobody showed up before. Now they're all showing up, of course. And I'm
Uh,
smoking, just so you know, it was a Rocky Patel Year of the Dragon cigar, which is a beauty. And our friend here is smoking an H. Upman 50. I think he's trying to show off for people.
Magnum,
And what are
a
you smoking?
beautiful cigar, a beautiful cigar.
Which one?
Right. So it is. It's a Friday. No, well, he's smoking Magnum 50. It's a Friday. Why not a Cohiba Friday after ages?
Okay.
So I am going to light up a Cohiba Novidosos.
Excuse
It
us.
is okay. So the Cohiba Novidosos is it's the only Habanos Specialist Edition in a Cuba, in a Cohiba is launched a few years ago.
Wow.
Uh, Pretty rare to find a lot of times. I was lucky to get my hands on a few of these. This is what they look like. Now,
UFOs are there again. There you go.
moving on to
Yes.
okay, moving on to we talked about that we will tell our viewers about how they taste or how the aroma and the cigar comes in.
Right.
There's a very, very interesting way, and there's a science and a logic behind that. If you
Okay.
recall, if you're eating something or if you're drinking, the first reactions of anything comes from the sense of smell. And
Right.
you say, oh, okay, this is what I'm smelling. So maybe this is vanilla, this is chocolate, this is pistachio, this is nuts, and all that. And similarly, when you eat something, your glands tell you what is it that you're eating, or the sense of sweetness, the sense of spices, the sense of saltiness. Hence, when you smoke a cigar and when you take a puff, there are two things do you get. If it is spicy or sweet, or if it is salty or something of that sort, once you get from your glands in the mouth. However, if there are any other notes and aromas that you want to talk about, you actually get when you either retrohale them or through the puff and through the cigar's smoke. That's what it tells you how it tastes. But all of this memory comes from originally your brain. So technically, whatever we eat or drink or smoke or inhale, the entire recollection of what that thing is actually linked to your sensory part in, and that is where the all information comes in. To ease that out and to actually ensure that what does it mean that in a cigar this is coconuts or this is hazelnuts or this is peanuts or this is chocolate or this is whatever, I mean cream. There
Right.
is a very useful and interesting tool available in the market made by Aeromaster. So
Okay. Hold on.
Aeromaster has made, yeah. So Aeromaster has, so you can see their website as well. Aeromaster has
Sure.
made this kit. They actually made a lot of these kits, and this kit is the cigar aromas kit. So it is a cigar aroma kit that you use it for
Right.
identifying the kind of cigars, and it has like 12 different kind of aromas and over like the major 12 nuances you get out of your cigars. So if I open it, actually be able to see 12 different bottles in it, like
Can you can
perfumes.
you can you drink those? Can
Or
you drink those?
well, you surely cannot because
Okay,
these
I
are
was
to
just checking.
smell.
All
Yeah,
right, I don't know.
yeah. So if you see labeled with numbers and all that stuff, so
Right.
let's say, how does it work? Is this is a guide with this whole thing. So, which tells you what bottle corresponds to what kind of a flavor and aroma.
Oh,
And for the easier one, they've made it they've actually put the pictures of those. So these are the major
okay.
12 aromas that you actually get out of a cigar.
Okay.
And just to start off with, I mean, since the first one is we commonly talk about hay in the cigar. What I'll do is I'm going to open this up
Okay. Now, everybody, you're going to be able to
and
smell
and,
this,
I,
so pay
and
attention.
Smell
yes.
everything.
So if you smell this, you actually recognize what does hay correspond to in a cigar, and that
Oh,
is
okay.
what the whole it's a few times that you do it and you can actually recognize it. And if you really want to do it in a much useful way, you can actually smoke a cigar, and along with that, you can continue to slowly and gradually test which of the bottles is tasting as what. So, for example, this one is giving me the notes of an earth. So let's see, what does earthy notes mean? Yeah, so
Hmm.
that profile tells you that this is more of the earthy profile. So slowly and gradually, once you this is something which is not very uh, common in use, and not many people would want to have the science behind it attached to it. But people like me who are a bit nerds always prefer to know what they're smoking. How does it smell and how does it taste
Right.
to smoke a cigar, and then you can actually it in terms of the profile, the aroma, and the taste profile that a cigar is going to make or tell you about. So this is what I am going to talk more about in terms of that, and with a lot of with a little bit of practice, with a little bit of and taking it seriously, people who do not or people who say I cannot taste anything but smoke, they can
Right.
also slowly and gradually are able to at least pinpoint or talk about three to four major common ones, which are primarily cedar, earth, hay, and a few of them with the nuts as well. these are
Nice.
these are the common nuances one can actually pick out. But yes, if you're really good at it and if you really put
Thank
your
you.
sense of smell to use,
Thank you.
you can actually take use of the entire 12 bottles and figure out what is it there in the cigar.
Thank you.
Very nice. Well, yes, because we're talking about you because you are above a sommelier. So, yes, we realize that. So,
The princess, yeah,
the
what
princess,
the
the
princess.
princess, yes, the princess. We're sorry, princess. We forgot
Well,
to
well,
put you on
well,
the
well, well,
pedestal.
well, well,
So,
well.
yeah, yeah,
On a relatively serious note, we had a
yeah.
conversation, Stephen, you and I, before Usman joined us.
Yes.
Were we on the mark?
Yes, we were.
No, so
Yes.
I didn't hear you. Can you say it one more time?
Oh, I hate this. Princess was right. I'm going to ask you about this. And this is the one that he's going to make sure that they make a short and he's going to loop it and it's going to play forever on Instagram and on YouTube. Yes, Princess was right. Before you showed up, before we technically started the show, even though we were live, he was saying
Those,
that when you start smoking,
those
Yes.
ahead of
there
the
we go.
curve are
There we
often
go.
mocked.
Yes,
Often
that's true.
mocked.
Yes, that's true.
Oh my
He was
god.
saying that when before you smoke a
It's
cigar, if you go in with some preconceived thoughts of what it might taste like, whether it's vanilla or caramel or earthy or this or that or your ex-girlfriend, whatever. He was saying that when you smoke it, that you may be able to detect some of the flavor. And with your kit, I can smell it and then taste and smell. That would be cool. I have to get one of those now because I'm one of those
That's a
that
really
just
good
I
kit.
enjoy the
Actually,
smell.
I didn't know about this kit. That's actually,
actually,
if you could, you should put a link to that kit
I shall
in
do that.
the.
I shall do that.
And we should call them
Once
and
the
go,
show,
you're welcome.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Once the show goes live, we can actually put that on the comment section. See, I
Just so you know,
agree that yes, if you
the
smell
show
it
is
and then
live.
you go,
The show is live.
yeah, oh
So
no,
we
oh yeah,
broadcast this tomorrow.
yeah, my bad. In the comment section,
No, had you been watching, you would have known.
yes,
I
yes,
didn't
in the
know if you would have shown up
bad,
on
bad.
time and not been driving all over
Oh yes,
Pakistan for some reason.
yeah, right. Uh,
Of course,
yeah,
that's my fault.
well, the some reason is right in front of me.
Yes, we know what the reason is.
Of
So,
course, it's
but no,
always your
that
fault.
of course, princess. So, but that
Come
is
on. I'm
actually a
happy to
very
go on the
cool kit.
cross for this one.
Here we go. Here we come. You're Muslim. There's no cross. So,
Stephen. Yeah, perfect. Stephen, I have proofs to share the tricked thrice already,
yes.
and I'm again in for a fourth surprise. Let's see.
Okay. He
All
told
right.
me that when I
So
right
so
before the
so
show, I said
on
before the show, I said, "Oh, you're in El Salvador." And he's like, I'm in Tom Tom," and I go, "That's not in Pakistan." He says, "No, I didn't make it."
It's close enough. It's close
It's
enough.
close. It's close enough by like 8,000 meters or 8,000 miles. And I was like, interesting. And
yeah
in the back of my mind, all I kept
yeah
thinking was,
Miles.
I bet you he didn't text Usman that he's not in Pakistan. So, you know,
What's my name again? I forget.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, we know you're the H. Upman 50. Yes, we're well aware of what you're smoking.
Yeah,
Are you
I get.
going for the endorsement or?
I'm trying
No,
to embed this in my
I
head
know,
because
I know, I know, I know.
Okay.
I know he's showing it to me because he knows this is one of my favorite cigars, and he has
Mm,
no,
always
okay.
said bad things about
Usman, you remember this better than I remembered it because I was trying to. So Christian brought it down for me earlier on. I was trying to remember if I've smoked it or not, right? Yeah.
Right.
And I said to Christian, the only way I can remember certain cigars, if I go on my Instagram feed and have a look back. And Usman, very, very interestingly, you might remember during COVID, I was driving around London often smoking, and I was smoking H. Upman 50s.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah,
And I must
that's a
have
great
smoked the whole
cigar.
box. I must have smoked a whole box of them, but I forgot because around COVID time, everyone was busy trying to stay alive, and
Yes.
anyway, so
Yeah,
True.
I'm
True.
revisiting this cigar after 4-ish years, maybe five. How many years ago was did
like
disaster
let's say
take place?
4 years.
4 years
Can I
ago.
tell you, I found it by
Over.
mistake
Yeah. Yeah.
a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, and I like the 54s. They're the same as the 50s, if you will, but I like the H. Upmann Magnum 54, and I will smoke those whenever I can get them. If there's those, and then there's a few that are like my favorite if I can get them. And problem right now is just getting them, because the people from China
I had no
is,
problem. I said, "Can I have an H. Upman 50?" And Christian very kindly just brought it downstairs.
well, sure, because you're where they sell Cuban cigars. I have to call a guy who knows a guy, calls another guy that doesn't exist, and they have to smuggle cigars in for us
Stephen.
to smoke Cubans.
Stephen.
Yes, my friend.
Stephen. I have found a hack for you.
Okay, you'll tell me off
So I
air.
shall tell you. I'll. I'll tell you off air exactly.
Okay, very good. I like
We
that.
we
I
would
like
we
that.
would we would sort.
Nice. We'll solve that. We'll solve our Cuban
Yeah.
crisis very quickly, and of course,
Yes.
Cuban
Yes,
Missile
sir.
Crisis.
Absolutely.
yes, the missile crisis that never was. So
Whatever. I know. We need viewers, and I know we need a lot of people who have watched the show, but not like this. So please, out of the whole thing. Already, two Pakistanis sitting on a show talking about missiles is gonna go hit on another way.
yeah,
So let's not
that's
talk
we're gonna
about
get a
that
whole
part.
different. We're gonna get a whole different audience. We're gonna get a whole different audience for the
Yes,
show. Yeah,
we
it'll
seriously
be.
don't. We seriously do not want
Yeah.
that.
We'll have government agencies knocking on all our doors going, now, when you were talking about the Cuban Missile Crisis, were you referring to real missiles or cigars? I'll be like,
I
cigars, you idiots.
I
So,
I believe that had
Yeah.
we had someone, when I say we, you guys, you sitting in the USA, had someone of the caliber of Donald Trump at that
oh,
time.
here we go.
Oh,
We would have been at
this was
war.
right.
Oh, what did I say? What did I say?
No, we just been, it only took you
Uh,
48
um,
minutes to bring it
um,
up. So, yeah, So, what are you going to do when he loses in November to Miss Harris? What are you going to do then?
when a winner loses, it's not called losing. A winner remains a winner. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
what.
Really? Just so you know,
Oh
when
well.
in the championship league and the Premier League, when you lose, you suck unless you're number one, and then you get relegated, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on. So let's like,
Winning and
they're winning. Winning
winning
is
and
winning.
losing is overrated. It's all about character.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh.
Okay.
I mean, I can put a t-shirt on, or I can put a pair of pajamas on, or a suit on, but the cigar and the way I smoke it remains the same.
Well, me too, but I mean, my butler lights it, and then he holds it for me when people aren't around because I don't want to dirty my hands. So I knew we smoke them the same way. So,
Very, very, very well said, sir. Very well said.
so now I have to bring my butler with me when I go to the UK because I don't want to hold the cigar. I got things.
The UK is
So
full
yeah.
of butlers. Everyone
I
in
know
the
that.
UK has a butler.
Can I tell you? There's an article last week in the FT about the butler school out in the UK, and if you want to have a butler, here's the school you should go with and how they train them. And I'm reading everything they do, and they choose your wine, they choose your food, they choose this, and nowhere in it did they say they choose your cigars. And I was like, what kind of butler is this? I mean, like, how are they gonna, to
I
take
think
care of me?
the cigar choice is the personal choice that is left down to the individual. Usman, though, by the way, because
Yeah,
Usman is one of the people who's been recommending me this cigar.
Yes.
yeah.
Nice cigar, light cigar, nutty, almost slightly sweet.
It's
Uh-huh.
trying to figure out. It's trying to
Well,
figure out
Nati,
if you're
I
reading that
agree,
from a
and
book.
I recognize. No, no. Yeah, no, no. So, no. So Nati, I agree. A bit of creamy profile. I agree. The sweetness is something which maybe I did not notice many
Hang on,
times,
hang on,
but
hang on, hang on, hang on,
it
hang
might
on.
be.
Let me have a sip of this Coke one more time, and let me tell you.
Yeah, yeah. Please, maybe it'll taste like Coca-Cola next time
Oh
you
Yes,
puff it.
there
shit,
is
man.
sweetness. There is sweetness.
No, yeah, why it was there.
That's too
Duh.
funny. So
Yeah.
now let me ask
Okay.
you this
So,
because go ahead.
yes.
Go,
No,
go,
no, go
go.
ahead, go ahead.
I'm good. You
Yeah.
just keep going.
So what I was sure. So what I was going to ask is, have we decided and thought of, or are we going to talk about it now?
The topic was you telling everybody how you taste cigars and about the kit, and that's how we left it. And then
Yeah.
the rest of the
No, no,
show, we can talk
that's
about
for
whatever you'd
today.
like.
Yeah,
Oh, you mean next
yeah,
week?
that was for today. Yeah, next week. I meant
Right.
what's that we want to talk about?
Well, I think the first question we have to find out from Princess is what country she'll be in. So the show will start on time. And
I can
two,
tell you. I can tell you which country
Yes,
I'm in already. I'm in the country of Reza. In my brain,
United
I
okay,
I'm in
Kingdom.
a I'm in a happy place. I'm
okay,
always in a happy place. It's all about state of mind. I
here we go.
believe the physicality of the world is temporary,
Oh
and
my God.
the state of mind is the thing that lasts the longest. And
Yes.
so,
Later, when I hang myself, I'll remember this. Anyway, so
Ah,
next week,
okay,
let me
I'm gonna yawn now.
I have a controversial topic. I have a controversial
please let's be controversial.
topic that I would like
when
Usman, our
when is it
resident
not?
cigar. I would like Usman, our resident cigar sommelier, to have a go at addressing. And I'm
Sure.
not going to put any more details in it. I'm just going to ask it as a question. New World cigars versus Cuban cigars.
Go.
Oh,
Oh no, that's next week's topic.
okay.
That's next
That's
week.
next
Oh,
week's
okay.
topic.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I want
Let's do
honestly,
that.
in a very honest way, I want him to be able to summarize in the space of whatever, 10,
7
15 minute
hours.
slot we
Yeah.
have, the major differences, the major hang-ups,
Right.
the 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 issues or the non-issues. I think that's a really cool topic.
I
And
agree.
that's a really cool topic, especially for the US audience, Stephen, because in the US, you tend not to be able to get Cuban cigars very easily.
Right. Well, we can and we
And
Yeah.
can't. It just
and
depends.
and and, and there's a certain amount of
Yeah.
snob value, especially sitting in the UK. I mean, Cuban cigars are in abundance here. It's probably the
Right.
world's sort of central cigar market
Right.
for Cuban cigars. It's probably one of the world's most expensive markets for Cuban cigars.
Right.
So, what is this
Yes.
myth about Cuban cigars versus new?
New
Is it a
world.
myth? Is there some reality to it? Is it just down to personal preference of taste? Is it because there's a superiority or inferiority? What is it? So
Right.
maybe Usman can debunk. Let's call it
That'd
a
be cool.
cigar debunking. Hashtag
I like that.
cigar debunking.
I like
Uh,
that.
sorry, I didn't quite hear what you said, Stephen.
I know. I like that. I think that's a very interesting topic. But I will
Yes,
say
thank you.
something to that. No, you're two for two today, Princess. I'm excited for you. So it doesn't happen that rare. So this show is going to be one of your favorites. But what I think is interesting though, because right now we know like China is buying Cuban
China.
cigars like China. I'm from New York. It's China. They're buying Cuban cigars like water. So the interesting part is if the
Bloody hell,
U.S. ever if
yeah.
I know, right, New Yorkers. If the U.S. ever said to to Cuba, the cigar embargo is off, and I think it's all like the Cuban government pays them to keep the cigar embargo on. But if they ever, I truly believe it, right, for the mystique. But if the Cuban government and the U.S. government ever got together, or they stopped paying them to keep the embargo on, and we started to have Cuban cigars here, I think we would be
Trust
larger
me, we will
Cuban
be
cigar
lost.
smokers. Well, no. I think the U.S. would be the largest Cuban cigar smoker, even over the Chinese cigar smokers that smoke
Having said
Cubans.
that, having said that,
I have, no, 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 wait. I have a very different point of view on this. And the point of
Okay.
view is actually, there will be no one else who will get Cuban cigars. It'll only be the US market. The production
Mhm.
capacity within Cuba will just be consumed by the US market itself, and nobody else will need it.
Okay.
And
So, right.
it will be logistically easiest for Cuba to supply to the
Yeah.
US. It
Right.
will become much more like easier access for all the American smokers, and
Right.
the amount of cigars smoked in the US are till date again one of the highest numbers. So I sincerely and seriously doubt that we would ever see any Cuban cigars, because there would be two things. Even if the embargo lifts, one,
Right.
people will start not only purchasing for smoking but for collecting and
Right.
hoarding, technically, because they don't know when the embargo might be put in again or something goes
Right.
wrong. So at least store as much as you can, and again the similar thing, which is like collect it and then resell it as a secondary. The US becomes the
Right.
second biggest secondary market for that, as
And
compared to
just so
China or any other places.
and just so we're clear with what you just said, I'm okay with all of that. So anyway,
is there
the other
not
Trust,
thing.
also is there not
trust
also
me, I fear that day. I fear that day the most.
no, but is there not also an argument that one could say that in terms of the U.S. market, the tastes associated with cigars,
Right.
I'm talking about personal. They're sort of like embedded now. People like their Arturo Fuentes and
Oh,
their
yeah.
I don't know, sort of like Dominican cigars, Nicaraguan cigars. They're kind of
Yeah.
like acclimatized to those tastes. It's like someone who smokes Cuban cigars regularly,
Hmm.
trying to smoke a New World cigar. You find that, hang on, this is just not the product I like. It's like the
Right.
Coke and Pepsi. It's the Coke and Pepsi kind of difference. They may both be
Right.
decent drinks, yeah, or great drinks. But when
Raza,
your taste,
Raza,
yes,
that's the further discussion on this I would keep for the next week, because
Okay.
this is
And
exactly one very interesting
well,
section
you
where
know, I
we
had
talk
said
about
it, but
Cubans and
then you
non-Cubans.
then started. So
yeah. Well, and the other thing which is interesting about it is you get a
yeah.
lot of you'll see in like whatever website will sell cigars, New World cigars, and they're like, but it's a Cuban seed. I'm like, yeah, but it's not Cuban soil, and it's not rolled by the Virgin on
Yes.
your eyes. So there's all these things. Just because you're a Cuban seed, it doesn't mean you're XYZ. Just because, and I'll be somewhat funny, a Bugatti is a car, and so is a Ford. Pick your Ford. It's not the same car,
Yeah.
not the same vehicle. So when
True.
I smoke a Cuban cigar, I truly enjoy it, and I would say 100 times more than a New World. But the New Worlds that I do pick out, they're not going to come close, but they still give me that kind of enjoyment. And there's other New Worlds that they're not
Yeah.
worth.
Yeah.
And you guys know my go-to cigars, the CAO Brazilian Amazon, and with every penny of the six
Yeah.
dollars it is for a cigar, and I'll put that up against anything. But when I travel, I go wherever I can get my Cuban cigars, and I buy whatever I buy, and I'm thrilled to death because I have all these different Cuban cigars that I
Yeah.
can choose and try, and it's just a different world.
Well, that's what, it's been a really good
Absolutely.
teaser,
Absolutely.
but Osman is going to hopefully debunk
Yeah.
this at a technical level next week. At a
Okay.
technical level,
Yes,
Ooh.
sir. Yes, sir. Let's do
Wow.
that.
Now that,
in the same way that it's all very cool talking about flavors and aromas, but the kit that Osman just showed earlier on.
yeah.
Osman, remind us what it's called.
What's the kit
Oh,
called that you showed us?
it's the kit by Aromaster. It's the Cigar Aromas kit
Never
by
Okay.
seen it.
Aromaster.
Would love to have it. Fabulous.
That's good.
Aromaster.com, and it's
Okay.
12 different aromas. It's the Cigar Aromas kit.
Very nice.
I
Okay.
love it when technicality sets in. It's takes it
Well,
to
it
the
Yeah.
next level.
helps. You know what's funny is, I mean, our show is a lot of fluff, but then when we do get down to the serious part of the show, if
Thank
you're
you.
cigar 101, yes, princess, if you're cigar 101 or a cigar aficionado, Usman brings
Oh, thank you.
things to you that most people have no clue. And
Yeah,
if you're really
I'm
into
I'm I'm
cigars,
very
that's
surprised
it.
actually. Actually, the tidbits that we're getting on the show, I haven't seen anywhere else.
I
Hmm.
think I
I agree,
think not to trumpet my own horns. The only
but
thing
you
is
should.
Go
it's
ahead.
pure it's it's purely about one's own interests, and maybe I was wired that way, that I prefer reading on and learning stuff more
Hmm.
with a theoretical background to it, which is why I
Yeah.
do it. Otherwise, I'm sure this thing has
No,
been out
but
there
we're
for
getting
quite
the
a
benefit
while,
of it, Usman.
and thank you. So that's, and I prefer, and I love sharing it. I mean, if I know something, why not? It should benefit the others. Hence, I think
Incredibly, I've
that's the
learned
only
more.
reason.
No, incredibly, I've learned more in listening to you for 2 minutes than I learned by talking to myself for the last hour.
Well, that would always straight.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would. I think most of the fans would say that too. They've learned more in the last 2 minutes than they've last. I think so. I think so. Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean,
Uh-oh.
Now,
It's a degree of humility.
Uh-oh.
listen, Usman is the resident expert. Now, before we go, because we have fans that actually like to watch the live show, and this week screwed them up, and I know they're very upset. They have to watch the rebroadcast. They couldn't ask questions like last week. So before we go, it's going to be interesting. Where are you in
Yeah.
Pakistan next week or in the United Kingdom? Because that determines if we do the show at 8:30 my time or 10:30 my time, which also determines what time it is in Pakistan or the UK for the live fans.
What I'll do is
Stephen,
I'll let you know 15
Stephen,
minutes before the show.
Stephen. No, no.
Yeah.
Raza, shut up. Stephen, we are doing this show on our time, which is 8:30 in the morning, your time.
There we
Easy
go.
it.
All right. So back to the normal time next week, everybody. So if you're watching the
Yes, of
show,
course. Back to the normal.
8:30
Yeah,
Central,
yeah.
9:30 New York time, and whatever time that is in
Yes.
Pakistan, I think that's 6:30 at
It's
night.
it's
And
6
we're
6:30 p.m. Yes.
at Pakistan, and for Riza, it's Riza time. So we're all good. So there you go. So, and I will tell you, we
Yes.
put the short out, which you also made cute about you being Newman, and on YouTube is
Oh
blowing up.
yes.
The people are enjoying the Newman short.
Sorry.
What are you
Sorry,
doing?
sorry.
What are you
He's
doing
trying
now?
to be.
I'm removing the Magnum 50 band because it's getting close to the edge, if you know what I mean.
There you
Why
go.
can't just you bring it? Why can't you just take it off
Yeah,
I
like a normal
was.
from the
person.
top?
I was, but guess what it was doing? Guess what it was doing?
Oh, it's ripping the
Well,
cigar.
because no, because you tried to do it faster. It wasn't
No. I've
that
been I've
warm
been
that
just gently,
the glue would have.
gently. No.
See,
I know. I didn't.
don't do that
No.
next time.
I no.
No,
I no.
see,
This, so
your
this is
difference
so
is
this is a
always
personal
you.
preference. That's a personal preference. I do not like taking the band off by undoing the band. I like the band to roll off.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
of course it should roll.
Yeah.
Well. Guess what happened in this case?
The only thing is, I'll tell you one thing. You it downwards. You take it off from the foot.
Oh yes.
Oh, look at that. You've learned something else today. Look at that.
See,
We are learning stuff.
because what happens is it is already burning from that foot side. So when it comes
Right.
close to where your band is, because of the heat, the glue will start melting, and it will automatically, if in case it is stuck to the wrapper of the cigar, it will automatically leave it, and it will be ready to be taken off. And then you just take it off from the foot side. Yes, it's slightly technical. You have to be careful not to burn. You just take it off from the ashes side, and you're good to go. And wait till the
There you
time
have it.
the cigar is burning to close to your band of the cigar, so that the glue automatically leaves the cigar in case it is stuck to it. Otherwise, it's all good. Because when you start doing this, even very gently and all that, that actually means you are going to ruin the wrapper yourself, because you already started applying pressure. So
Oh,
don't do
wow.
that. Let the cigar burn to an extent that you can actually feel the heat underneath the wrapper. And once you start feeling, when you are holding the cigar from, it's getting hotter and it's burning, it's actually the
Okay.
time ready for this band to be taken off.
Very nice. Look at that. We've taught you people something else. Yeah. This is like Sesame Street, but better
Thank you, sir.
because we don't have Elmo. So, well,
Cooperation.
Oh yeah.
yeah, we love it. Oh, God. So today was brought to you by the
Yeah.
letters. So, for cigar.
Oh yes.
Gentlemen, as always, Princess, do you want me to end the show or do you want to keep going? Because last week we have the clip of you. You've already come out. But the show would not end. We call it the show that would not end last week because you wanted to go on, and I don't want to interrupt you today. I mean, so
Yeah.
Have it your way today.
what are we, it's Burger King all of a sudden. Great. Are you going to do commercials from the '80s? All of a sudden, have it your way, Burger. Okay. So, but no, it was great. So next week we're going to debunk the mystery of the Cuban to New World cigars. This week was how to smell and taste your cigar. I think
Yes,
that's good.
sir.
I think this show is going to do very well. I think a lot of people are going to want to know how to smell and taste their cigar.
No, it's a very, very good
Yeah.
show. Very good show. Very good.
And what we'll do is for the viewers who generally join us for the first part and weren't able, we will recap this thing in a less than 2 minutes time next time when we start as well, just so that they have
Oh,
it.
thank
Yeah.
God. So yeah, and then we'll run the intro sooner than 28 minutes into it. So there you go. So that'll
Yeah.
be just
Yes.
saying, we're going to keep up with everything.
Yeah, fair
Gentlemen,
enough.
as always, it's a pleasure. We will see. I'm going to definitely say this. We will see Risen next week in London.
Yes,
So
sir.
somebody doesn't have to drive 5 hours over the mountains to a place that he's not. And I will be here, of course, I think in Austin, where it's only going to be 30 Celsius.
Appreciation. Anyway.
Just so you know, we're your biggest fan. Yeah, we are, both of us together.
Yeah.
We're your biggest fan. Yeah,
Yes.
we have a fan club for you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I have a bumper sticker. Princess are us. I'll be sending it to you shortly.
Well, this can actually become the new name for the group.
New name of the show, Princess are us.
Oh yeah.
So, and that'll get more views than the Habanos Cigar Show. Go figure. So that could be worse. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you. The podcast, by the way, these gentlemen don't know, but I will tell them, explodes every week. People from around the world, because we can see where they
Wow.
listen from, keeps growing. So people are enjoying our banter and enjoying, I'm assuming, more of our Salmonese lessons. So if there's something that we haven't discussed that you would like to hear, pop us a note and we will give it to
Yes,
our
please.
Salmonarian, and he will tell you what he knows. And next week during the live show, 8 a.m. Central, figure that out wherever you live. You can ask questions live like they did last week, and we'll go from there. And then we'll
Yes, sir.
see what we can do for everybody. Anything else, gentlemen, before we say goodbye?
Sounds
Rizza, are
good.
you okay? Or is you going to complain today? Oh, he's not complaining today. Okay. He has important things to do, like
Oh, yeah.
drink another Coca-Cola. All right, good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
see everybody.
Let's hope he's after the promo is run.
Let's see if he stays or if he's going to have to rejoin.
Yeah.
We're staying
Yeah.
on after the show, Grandpa. Stay. It's going to be a heck of a show. Everybody, have a wonderful week. Good to see my friends as always. We'll talk to y'all soon. Cheers, everybody.